Hello, hi. Welcome back to our Kubernetes series. Today in this video, we'll be discussing on environment variables. We will be seeing what is the problem by hard coding the environment values, what challenges might be coming, and what exactly is environment variables, how the environment variables works with the Kubernetes, where do environment variables comes from. Earlier, we already discussed the secret, ConfigMap, directly introduction of environment variables in application YAML file only. We'll be seeing all those resources and how the config map plus secret will be getting the environment variables from both, and how to use the environment variable, sorry, why to use the environment variable, and a quick and full configuration flow, how the application till the database is connected, application to database is connecting by using the environment variables, and a quick recap about the discussion. So without further, let's enter into the video and have a discussion. First thing, environment variables is just passing a configurations what your application requires, so that it is going to inject at runtime or uses the application dynamically. Okay, so this is exactly how the configuration injection flow works. Okay, there will be a config map secrets we already discussed it. There we are going to pass the environment, I mean the configuration values, then that will be injected into the pod, and then within the container these environment values will be stored. Now let us quickly understand why the hard-coded values doesn't work. Why? Because first thing, hard-coded configurations makes the application inflexible, because the database URL, API endpoints, or port, which may be backed into the code, which may be inserted into the code, and changing one particular value, that means changing the entire code. We need to rebuild the entire application and redeploy the container. Here, different environments need the different settings. So if the dev uses the local host, maybe staging uses the database and production uses the cloud database. Same code cannot serve all three purposes by hard coding these values. And every configuration change is supported to rebuild as well as redeploy. So let's say if we update a single URL, we need to rebuild the Docker image and repush into the registry and then redeploy the application. Obviously, it is a slow process and there might be a chances of human error prone also. And wrong variables go to wrong environment. Let's say a dev accidentally points the production database. Here, configuration will leads to some other environment, and the sensitive values exposed within the code, especially like passwords, tokens, hard coded into the source code, that will get committed to the Git repository and shared across the whole team. There is a chances for this. So there is a one-stop solution for all these challenges, that was environment variables, injecting a configuration file at runtime, so that changing a settings without touching the code, as well as the rebuild of the image and application also not required. So this is how the hard coded looks like, and this is how the environment variable looks like. It provides more flexibility, and it is obviously we need to change the environment at the time we need to rebuild the application, everything. Okay, here in environment case, we just need to update the YAML file of a config map or secrets wherever we are referring, and just rebuild the pod. That's it. We are not touching anything about container. Now let us understand what are the environment variables. First thing, those are your key value pairs which was passed to the applications. So each variable has a name and value. This is the example. This is the name and this is the value. Key value pairs we can say. Okay, and configuration will be injected dynamically at runtime. That means your container will start and receives these settings through the environment variables, and there is no rebuild was required. And application will reach the values during the execution. So via the process.env for Node.js, for Python os.getEnv, or for Java system.getEnv. By this, during the execution time, application reads these values, environment variables, and it is a universal pattern across all the languages. So each and every programming language supports reading the environment variables, and this was some industry standard approach followed by many of the organization. And also we can, and also these environment variables can be come from multiple sources, like YAML directly injecting into the YAML file, and config maps there might be a chances, and for from secrets also we will get. So for simple understanding or better analysis, you can think like environment variables is a briefing given to an employee before they actually start the work. Okay, so the same employee, different briefing for different jobs. That's it. Okay, and this is how exactly the key value format looks like. Okay, and this is how the application reads at startup, or how we said like a process.env. Okay, os get env, like that. Okay, and there is no hard coding is required, that is provided by the environment variables. Now let us understand how exactly the environment variables work within Kubernetes. Let us see the complete flow. Okay, so first thing, environment variables we are going to define in a pod YAML file specifications under env. If you see here under env, this is an example pod YAML file under env, or we can also specify env from, okay, field in the container specification. Then we are going to write these values, okay, and these are written once and applied to every time, applied every time pod will restarts and applies the new configurations. And then once we define the values in the pod YAML file, then Kubernetes will schedules the pod. That means Kubernetes schedules and selects the available node, and kubelet on the node receives the pod specifications through all the environment variables definitions. Once it was done, then Kubernetes will resolve the config map and secret sources. So let's say if the environment variables come from some config map file or secrets file, it will refer and Kubernetes will fetches those details and decodes all the environment variable definitions. Once it was done, then container will starts with the environment variables injection. So container will process starts all environment variable setup, and application will reads them instantly from the process environment. And now your application will start. Application uses these configurations dynamically, so it will connect to the corresponding URL, passwords, database, everything, and all setup, and your application starts. So this is how exactly the environment variables work within your Kubernetes. Now let us see the configuration sources. So where do these environment come from? There are primarily 3 to 4 ways, or 3 to 4 places, sources we can say, where these configurations comes from. First thing, directly in YAML file. So it is the simplest one, and that means we need to just hard code these values in the pod specification file itself, application deployment file we can say. Okay, and it is very much good for static values, and it don't change in between. It won't change the environments between the environments. Okay, and like this we can going to specify in the direct pod YAML specification file. Okay, and then the second source was ConfigMap. So it is quite a popularly used, source for environment variables. So here, especially for non-sensitive informations, we will be stored within the ConfigMap, and it can be reusable across the multiple ports and environments also. This is how exactly this config map looks like. Okay, while specifying in the pod YAML file, we are specifying this where exactly from where we are referring this value. And then the third source was secrets. So especially for secure information or sensitive information like credentials or API keys tokens, and it was decoded automatically, and there will be access controlled via the rollback. And this is how exactly we are referring db secret. This is the secret file we are writing. Okay, and this value is referring within the pod YAML file. Okay, and then the fourth source was Kubernetes auto generated. So Kubernetes will automatically inject a cluster information like service IP, ports, namespaces, node name into the every pod. So this is how exactly it looks like, and these are all the sources to the pod. Okay, and directly the YAML pod itself, config maps, secret reference, Kubernetes auto variables, all are measured into the container, and within the container it was passing as a environment variables. So environment variables is no more something different. It was just fetching the details from the config map, and existing the sources and putting that into the container. Now let us see how the integration works, like a config map plus secret, and that is resulting as an environment variable, right? So now let us see how this works in the backend. First thing, config map will provide say non-sensitive settings, especially like database host, port number, log level, info like that. Okay, and API URL, future flags, all which are data safe to expose. Okay, and coming to the secrets, where we are going to provide a sensitive credentials, and also it was automatically encoded within our bag. And also it provides a encryption at rest by etcd. Okay, and once we get configuration from this, then it was both injected as a environment variables. So if you see here, this and this are getting into environment variables. These environment variables are storing within the container, and this was injected into the pod. Okay, and that pod will use this to connect to the application to run the application. So basically here it is a centralized management where it is going to change one configuration or a secret all pods by using it to get all pods using it get the update. Okay, so this manages this. Okay, and then finally pushing into the environment. So the best practice follow here was always use the config map for non-sensitive information and secrets for sensitive information. Never fix the credentials, sorry, never mix the credentials into the config map. Okay, and yeah, if you see here, these 2 points indicate these two, and this third point indicates this environment variable. And here it is kind of just a centralized management where we are going to change one config map or secret, and that will be pushed into a one source of truth environment variables. Okay, now let us understand why to use a environment variable. First thing, it is flexible for configuration without any code changes, and it is easy for multiple environment management, and also no major rebuild was required. Multiple environments or multiple no more any CI/CD pipeline entirely need to run for entire process building. Okay, and it is better for application portability also. So it bringing your container to any cluster and any cloud provider, and with environment variables we can easily manage that. Okay, and also it simplifies the development and rollbacks also, sorry, deployments and rollbacks. So why? Because configurations lies in a version controlled, and that too in a YAML file. So rollback config is equals to rollback YAML file in simple definition we can say. Okay, and also it is a one of the factor in 12 factor application best practice we can say. Okay, and this is how exactly it works. Like one image and three environments it we can work by using environment variables only we can achieve this. In dev we are using localhost, in DB we are using testdb, and in production we are using RDS database. Okay, and those are just a YAML file specification that were referring to that application to run in multiple environments. Now let us understand one real world how exact real world example how exactly the configuration flow from app connecting to the database. Okay, first thing, we are going to get a config map that stores a non-sensitive data, database settings like database host, DB port number, database name. Okay, once we get that information from the config map, then the secrets also will be getting from the secrets YAML file. So these are the secrets. Once we get these two information, config map and secret, then a pod YAML will reference these both as a environment variables from we are referring both to the config map as well as the secret reference. Then Kubernetes is responsible for merging all the variables into the container. So this is what exactly a centralized manager does. Okay, Kubernetes. Once it was done, then application will build a deployment database connection, a database connection string at runtime, and reads the all five variables constraints. Okay, sorry, five variables, and construct this particular live running application. Then it switch to the whenever we want to switch to the production, we just need to swap the prod to the config map and prod to the prod config map and prod specification, sorry, secret files. So earlier it was some other environment, we just referencing this configuration file. So here, once it was done, the new application will runs by using a new database, and there is no code changes or rebuild was required. So same application will be referred to the production or some other environment specification and will run there. A quick recap of what we just discussed. First thing, we discussed on what is environment variable. It is a key value pair at runtime, and we seen how exactly the config map plus secrets will brings into the environment variables. Okay, config map source, secret source, and these are key takeaways of this discussion. Sources we have seen, and there is no rebuild like features we have seen. And in the upcoming video, we will be seeing about Kubernetes security overview. Okay, how exactly the RBAC, like network policies, pod security, everything works. Okay, we'll be seeing in brief. And a final point out of this discussion was, you can think application has a employee and the environment has a daily briefing or daily task. So same worker, different instructions. So obviously that will bring a different behavior. That is a simple understanding or simple analogy to understand these environment variables. So that's it for this particular video, and stay tuned for more videos. Thank you so much for watching, and all the best for your learning.